Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I run my Xbox Elite controller, and I'm going to show you guys what I think are the best settings for the controller. YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Above Average Code here, coming at you with an Xbox Elite controller video. Now, I absolutely love the Xbox Elite controller. I've been running it for years, and I kind of want to show you guys how I have things set up hardware and software-wise, so that not only can you maybe improve your game and your understanding of the controller, but I'm going to show you what I think are the best settings, at least that work for me on this controller. Now, guys, remember, it's going to be different from person to person, what feels comfortable, what works best. You're going to kind of have to take this video and not necessarily do exactly what I do, but maybe this will give you a better understanding on what may or may not be comfortable for you. Now, as you can see here on the screen, I do have the settings in the Xbox Accessories app. Now, either on PC or Xbox, you can access this app, and it should look the same on both. But first, I actually want to show you guys the hardware of the controller, because you'll notice it doesn't look like a regular controller right away, as you can see on the thumbsticks. Now, on the thumbsticks here, I do play a raised right stick with Control Freak. So I run the regular sticks, basically. So this is my left thumbstick here, and as you can see, there is a Control Freak attached to it. I'll try to get these boys apart. So regular left thumbstick on it, and then the regular height Control Freak, and then the Control Freak attaches on. Now, Control Freaks you can get online anywhere from like probably 10 to 15 bucks. You can get them on Amazon, Best Buy, everything like that. And for the right aiming stick, I run the regular height stick with a Control Freak on it, the raised Control Freak. Now, these are the purple galaxies, I believe they're called, and the right one is actually raised. So you can see there on the controller, it is higher than the other one. That's just what I find comfortable. It's what I play with. They are rubbery, they're concaved, and that's just how I aim. And now on the back of the controller, I do run all 4 paddles. And I will mention, guys, this is a Series 1. This Series 1 has lasted me 3 years. I will be upgrading at some point, but you'll notice because the trigger stops are different, we'll get to that after the paddles. Now, I do run all 4 paddles. I hold the controller very normally. I hold it like a normal person would hold a controller. I don't play like claw or anything crazy. That's why I run 4 paddles, and we'll get into what all the buttons are mapped to in a second here. And then for the trigger stops, now the Series 1 only has trigger stops on or trigger stops off, so I do have them on. Now, if you turn them off, you can push the trigger all the way down. You turn it back on, it only goes like halfway down and still responds. There's some issues with that sometimes, like it doesn't register. And then D-pad, I don't run the big cool circular D-pad that you see here on the picture of the controller. I do in fact run the regular D-pad because I just think it's kind of weird. Now, let's get into more of the mapping and the things that I have going on with my controller. And guys, before we get into it, please go hit that subscribe button. We're playing a ton of Halo Infinite, ton of live streams. We open Pokemon cards, all kinds of fun stuff. So I really appreciate it. Leave a like and leave a comment, guys. Feel free to talk about the Elite controller with me because I do love this controller. Now, there is so much you can do with your Xbox Elite in the software. Now, I only run one setting, guys, so whatever setting you see here, I run for every single game. There are 2 selectors where you can switch back and forth on the fly. It's right on the center, right under the Xbox button. That little button right there, if you switch that back and forth, it'll instantly change the mapping to whatever you have set. Now, this is a very complicated software if you've never used it before. If you guys want, I'll do another video on how to use it, but I'm basically just using it to display what I have going on here. So you'll see top right paddle, I have A, bottom right paddle, I have B, top left paddle, I have X, and bottom left paddle, I have Y. And I'll explain why I have it set up that way in a second. But first, I just want to say the main reason I run 4 paddles is so that I never have to click the A, the B, the X, or the Y. I never have to reach up here, guys. I never, ever do. I do everything on the back of the controller. This makes it so that when I'm playing, instead of reaching off the right stick to get up here to hit these buttons or use a different finger, my finger's always on the aim stick, my finger's always on the trigger, and I'm doing all the work with the back paddles here. Now, the A and the B on the right side, my logic with that was my right hand is obviously much more fluent in hitting buttons than my left hand. I'm just a righty, guys. I write with my right hand. I throw with my right hand. That's just how it is. So I put the 2 most important ones, jumping and sliding, on the back. A lot of people will only run 2 paddles, and they'll do it on one on each side. And I don't play tactical or anything. The right stick is just what the right stick is default. Tactical would make this your B button sometimes, but that's not how I run it. So the A and the B on the right side, I jump with my right middle finger like that, and I slide with my right ring finger. B is generally slide, of course. And then X is my reload, which is in the top left of the controller. So my left middle finger will be pushing that. And then the Y button down here on my left ring finger is basically my switch weapons in most games. Now, the only issue I have sometimes, and again, I put the less important ones on the left side because my left hand's just, it's not as fluent at pressing buttons, guys. That's just how it is. I do hit the Y button sometimes by accident. So to show you kind of, I'll do my best here. So this finger over here is going to wrap around the controller. That is my A button, so that is my jump button. And then this finger, my ring finger here, is my slide, and then obviously the opposite for the other side. So basically, while I'm aiming, I can jump and slide, and that does all of the same movements. So my right hand is doing the jumping, the sliding, and the aiming, while my left hand is focused on the movement with the reloading and the switching weapons and things like that. And now I already mentioned that the trigger stops I do have on, I did not change anything with the triggers. You can adjust all like when it reacts and stuff, which I should, because I do have issues sometimes with guns not registering. Like in Halo, I cannot charge the plasma pistol because the trigger stop is on. Also, the sentinel beam doesn't always work, things like that. Now, the right stick, I do have default. I actually just did a video on the sensitivity curves. I'm just going to show you what I have set. So, default sensitivity curve for the aim stick. If you have always played on a regular controller, you really don't want to screw with that because it is going to make the aim feel different because the stick is going to react a little bit differently. Now, the left stick, and this is the video I just did. I uploaded it last week. Feel free to check it out because it will help you stray faster and move faster. Not necessarily speed-wise, but the stick will react faster. I do use the instant sensitivity curve. If you've never changed this, it will be default. So I use instant. So basically, I don't have my controller plugged in right now so I can wave it around for you guys. But when you move the stick is actually reacting faster than where you actually have it pushed. So if you move it a little bit, let's say you move it to here, if you can see my mouse there, it'll actually be reacting over here. And I go over that a little bit more in that video I just mentioned. So feel free to check that out. But I do run the instant sensitivity curve on the left stick, and I think that just about covers everything. You can see I call this profile COD because I set it up for Call of Duty. And again, guys, I do run this setup on the controller for every single game that I play. And if you go on and you start editing this a little bit, guys, make sure you save it. You have to save it. You have to create a file and all that good stuff so that it doesn't forget, because my buddy just went through it. He got a new Elite controller. He set it all up to how he wanted it, and then he didn't save it, so it went back to default. But yeah, guys, I do run 4 paddles. I'll probably do another video this week about the art of running 4 paddles because it is tough to get used to, but I'll kind of walk you guys through the process of why I even bothered going through it, which I kind of explained a little bit in this video. But that's, I think, everything you need to know about how I run my Elite controller. Again, it is the Series 1. I do intend to upgrade at some point soon, preferably before this one possibly breaks. And guys, I have dropped this thing. I've thrown it unintentionally. I haven't spilled stuff on it, luckily, but this thing's been through Modern Warfare slide canceling and attack sprint. This thing has been so loyal to me, but I want to upgrade before this one breaks, knock on wood if it breaks. But just so I kind of do have a backup, the OG Elite controller, if I had to switch. But I've had this one over 3 years now, I think, and I love this controller, guys. I love it. I've had friends that have scuffs. They're always breaking. Something on their scuffs break. I'm not saying scuffs break a lot. I've never owned one personally, so don't trust me on that. But I just have friends, and they have a lot of scuff issues, and I have had this for over 3 years, guys, and I love it. It's such a good controller. But that's enough talking for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if this video did help you out, subscribe down below and leave a comment. Let me know that it did help you out. Or feel free to tell me if you run claw. Do you not run paddles? Do you run 2 paddles? What do you do on your controllers, guys? I'm definitely curious. And while you're down there doing all that, please leave a like on the video. It certainly does help out. But guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the absolute best. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.